No one suspected a thing. A respected 62-year-old doctor, decades of experience, trusted by hundreds of patients, until one message, one mistake, exposed everything. And when the truth finally came out, it didn't just destroy his career, it shattered lives. Intro. Dr. Raymond Hale wasn't just any doctor. He was the doctor. For over 30 years, he had built a reputation as one of the most trusted physicians in the city. Patients admired him, colleagues respected him. His name alone brought comfort to those walking into his clinic. But behind that calm voice, behind that reassuring smile, was a secret no one saw coming. The doctor's perfect life. Dr. Hale lived what most people would call a perfect life. A large home in a quiet neighborhood. A wife he'd been married to for over 35 years. 2 grown children, both successful in their own lives. Every morning he followed the same routine. Wake up at 6 a.m., black coffee, newspaper, then off to the clinic. He was predictable, disciplined, reliable, which is why what happened next shocked everyone. The new patient. It started with a new patient. Her name was Emily Carter. She was 34 years old, recently moved to the city. Quiet, polite, and noticeably anxious during her first visit. She came in complaining of chronic fatigue and stress. Dr. Hale treated her like any other patient. Professional, calm, focused. But something about her lingered. Subtle changes. At first, nothing seemed unusual. Emily began scheduling more frequent appointments, follow-ups, then additional consultations, then just to check something. Dr. Hale didn't question it, but the staff noticed. "She's here again?" one nurse whispered. It became a pattern, and slowly, something began to shift. The extra time. Dr. Hale started spending more time with Emily than any other patient. Appointments that should have taken 15 minutes stretched into 45, sometimes an hour. The door would remain closed. Conversations grew more personal, less about symptoms, more about life. Her struggles, her loneliness, her past. And somewhere along the line, boundaries blurred. The first red flag. It wasn't a dramatic moment. No big confession, no sudden turning point. Just a small detail. One evening, a receptionist noticed something strange. Dr. Hale had stayed late. Again. But the clinic was empty, except for one room. Emily's room. The lights were still on. The door was locked. The secret begins. After that night, things escalated quickly. Emily stopped booking appointments through the front desk. Instead, she would text Dr. Hale directly. Late-night messages turned into late-night meetings. What started as emotional support turned into something far more complicated and far more dangerous. The double life. At home, nothing changed. Dr. Hale still sat at the dinner table with his wife, still asked about her day, still played the role of a devoted husband. But behind closed doors, he was living a completely different life. More secretive, more distant, more careless. Suspicion grows. His wife Linda began to notice the late nights, the constant phone notifications, the sudden need for extra work. At first she ignored it. After all, he was a doctor. But doubt has a way of growing, and once it starts, it doesn't stop. The message. The truth didn't come out in a dramatic confrontation. It came from a single message. One night, Dr. Hale left his phone on the kitchen counter. A message appeared. Not from a colleague, not from a patient, but from Emily. "I miss you already. Linda saw it, and in that moment, everything changed. The discovery. Her hands trembled as she unlocked the phone. What she found was worse than she imagined. Months of messages. Personal, emotional, intimate. Photos, conversations, plans. A relationship that had clearly crossed every line. The confrontation. When Dr. Hale walked into the room, he knew. Linda didn't yell. She didn't cry. She simply asked one question. How long? And he had no answer that could fix anything. The exposure. But the story didn't end there, because this wasn't just a personal betrayal. It was a professional violation. And soon, others found out. A complaint was filed. An investigation began. The clinic staff were questioned. Records were reviewed. And the truth came to light. The consequences. The fallout was immediate. Dr. Hale was suspended. Then, his medical license was under review. Patients lost trust. Colleagues distanced themselves. Everything he had built over decades collapsed in weeks. Emily sighed. But there was another side to the story. Emily wasn't just a name in a file. She was vulnerable, alone, and in a position where trust mattered most. The investigation revealed something deeper, a blurred line between care and control. Support. That turned into dependency. And dependency, that turned into something neither of them could handle. The final break. The relationship didn't survive the exposure, pressure, public scrutiny, legal consequences. They went their separate ways, but the damage was already done. Ending. Dr. Hale lost his career. His marriage ended. His reputation was destroyed, all because of one decision that turned into many, and a line that should never have been crossed.